Scanning ahead. Found them.
Spike down A. Last player standing.
Hostile KIA.
Spike planted. In sight. One enemy remaining. Spike planted.
Tango down.
One enemy remaining.
Scout destroyed.
Spike planted.
Why destroyed?
Last player standing.
Scanning ahead. Not ready yet.
Cooling down.
Taken out. My ult's ready. Seek them out. Hawk out. Blinded.
One enemy remaining.
That's 3. Careful here. Hawk out. Careful here. I think that's it. Healing over here. These parasites aren't going to take one step past this place.
Revealing area.
Three suppressed.
Blocking sight.
I know exactly.
I can't use that.
Chip reset required.
Last player standing. Spike planted. Flawless.
Yes, this should do. Wow, this is a nice spot.
Revealing area.
player standing.
Four suppressed.
I can't use that. Be faster. Headshot.
Spike planted.
I know exactly where you are.
One enemy
Enemy
remaining.
down.
Blocking sight.
One enemy remaining. Clutch.
Scanning ahead.
Here. Time to hunt.
Spike planted. One enemy
Enemy
remaining.
kill.
Scanning ahead.
Bye.
Grenade.
Planted the spike.
One enemy remaining.
You thought you could escape my nightmare?
Revealing area. There they are. Revealing area.
I am the hunter!
I cannot use that.
I need reset.
One enemy remaining.
Headshot.
Spike planted.
Stay down. Blocking sight.
One enemy remaining. Last round before the switch.
Hope that hasn't been the case the entire time. Alright. Hi everybody, there was a slight technical difficulty and you could not hear my voice the past couple of rounds. We have squared away the issue. You're gonna see Ghosted Brain try to hit this shot but has to dash away. Oh, he's eager. Oh, he wants it. Oh, he gets it. Monte, unable to win the duel against Brain. The Jet diff asserted so far into this round. Because though, found his way into sewers pretty aggressively here and was zombie completely blind. He's gonna fall. Wallboy gets a pick to Zero Winter, and the Neural Theft is gonna reveal the positions of everyone else. The Seekers just to top it off. Information is here. 6J gets to become a Humphrey with no one else left really here. It's going to be a 2v4. Titanfall goes wide, has the spike, looking for next tech. Is not gonna quite land it. It has finally hit it there. Now it's gonna be left in a 1v3. Says he lands it, but Wallboy is unaware of where this Jet can be. Brain is gonna be able to show himself the bird right in his face. Not gonna quite hit him.
Spike planted.
Could be Wallboy pushing out aggressively. Does not want this Jet to get this position for free. Brain has the timing to be able to isolate a fight, but the TP into the back, that's going to be Brain just running right into Wallboy. 2-10 half. It's looking grim for Waverly.
Switching sides.
$2-10 so far. Waverly is going to be the ones on the back foot as they start their offensive half. Defense, though, on a map like this is more difficult as you have 3 lanes to contest compared to the 2 on normal maps. Now, you do have a smaller plants positioning for each of the sites, but it doesn't quite matter when rotates need to be perfect for the defense. Neztec opting to buy a Sheriff here. Something we see Cyphers do in the first round often is they're not really going to need to watch flank. That's going to prove well already as Zero Winter gets to pick immediately onto 6J. Because throws his dart, but it's going to get caught with the null point. Brain also with one trying to get out, but because it's going to get zombie. And Monte with a nice little 2K there, looking for the third on the Humphrey, gets a headshot, looking for more. Gets the 3K, looking for the fourth. It's going to be mid. It's Zero Winter is going to get completely flanked, surrounded, and quartered as Monte is going to get the 4K. 2-11 every single round that the Tigers are going to drop means it's another round that puts Lorain closer towards the semifinals. It's down to the wire. Something has to change for this attacking side. Waverly needs to find what it is that got them those first 2 rounds. That they were able to get so confidently, mind you. Find what it is and repeat it. Monte holding this down. Now on the defensive side, he is going to get a nice shot, but not going to quite land the head. Puts up his jet dash. Brain gets to pick on the Because in mid. Monte has to dash out. Jack is going to hit a trip. It's just going to walk through it, and Titanfall,
Down A.
easiest headshot of his life, able to just see him through the walls. The wall hacks on Cypher just enough to be able to get the pick, especially through a smoke. Monte gets to pick on the Nest Tech, picking up a Spectre. Humphrey tries to get one. Titanfall lands, does not quite land any shots. So Lear out, tries to see what he can find. Does not quite get any shots on the Monte. Wallboy sees one onto Zero Winter. Oh no, this is brutal. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Last player standing.
Wallboy might have thought that was his own Sova. Zero Winter. Gets taken down. Now a 1v1 onto Ryan, who's been landing some nice shots and lands some more with that 3k. Wallboy, I'm not gonna lie, might have sold there. I don't know if he didn't notice that was not his Sova. Sova was in a very weird position. Like, that was CT, but that was a lapse from Wallboy. But that will be Waverly's 3rd round so far into this map. Again, this is the 2nd map. Lorain won the 1st on Ascent. So whatever rounds they can pick up means they're closer to ending this. 1 round away from the match point of not just this map, but of the series. Monte playing very aggressive here. Has to play safe, and Jack and Cypher are going to fall so low from the spam. Brain is going to get Because in mid again. Next Tech only with 5 HP. It's going to be hard for either of these guys to walk through choke, especially with the spammable guns of the defense. A fragment does some decent damage on Titanfall. Camera getting fall down to Jack and the tripwire. It's gonna mean Titan has to fall back a little bit. Titan has to fall back a little bit. Stove it out. It's going to get hit, but not before it tags Monte. Smoke is out. The spam as well. Brain has to entry into something. A smoke is going to be able to cut off half a sight, but Wallboy is here to defend most of it. A bird can get popped through the smoke, tells them they're still there. Jack Zombie is not going to be accounted for. He is going to be accounted for, and that's going to be the spike lost in sewers. 30 seconds remaining. Wallboy is going to get tagged and has to remove the tracking dart. Titanfall gets picked onto Zero in main. Brian, only 24 HP. Anything will kill him here. He is going to be able to pick up the Marshal and see what he can find. But just barely gets peeked there. Monte takes down Nez Tech. A Vandal in the hand of Humphrey is not going to be good for him as he has to deal with so many. Monte with another 3k and a Vandal scooped up into his hands.
Match point.
Match point, not just for the map, but for the series. Lorain is killing it so far as it is a 3-12 split. 2 out of those 3 rounds were found on the first half of the round, and really not really anyone on the side of Waverly have been standing out. They've all been feeling gassed this map. Monte has just been deleting the entirety of the Waverly's front line. Jet knives are going to be available. Wallboy just barely misses that shot with a Marshal. Ghosted Brain has to find something with these daggers. Paranoia available from 6J. He's going to throw it out. It's not going to really stop them. Delir is going to be thrown out. Humphrey walks in by themselves. Let's get taken down. Brain is going to get a pick, though, on to 6J. Wallboy gets on the next check. They have to know he's here. They do. And Monte puts down the Bladestorm in a 2v4. The attackers have the spike. They can rotate, but they seem to not have the weaponry for this. The Spectre available. The dagger's not quite landing. Wallboy gets one. Monte closes it out. And a 2-3 victory. Lorain was scrappy in the first map, but dominant in the second. Not letting the heel off the neck of Waverly at all. That is going to be Monte with 25-8, taking the game by storm. We saw them on Sage, a more passive role, put them on a duelist, and we see them shine. Wallboy as well, being essential in stopping any lurks being able to be played by the defense. That is all we're going to be having for today. Thank you for tuning into the club quarterfinals. The semifinals will be wrapping up, I believe, next week as well, so do not miss it. Do not miss the club semifinals at all. Now, we're going to be going over next week, in the upcoming weeks, in April, the first week of April. Stay tuned. We are going to be seeing the playoff matches of the premier teams in Valorant, Overwatch, Super Smash Bros. You name it, we're going to be showing it. But that is all I'm going to be having for today. Thank you everyone for watching. I've been OP Knees, and this has been Esports Ohio.